Victoria Pearson, but you can call me V, and a very happy new year to you if you celebrate at this time of year. I kind of don't, because Pagan New Year is at the end of October, and also spring feels more like New Year to me. I tend to think it's New Year when the snowdrops come out, but so many of you start your New Year now, and so I do kind of piggyback off of that energy. As I said last year, and every time that anybody has ever asked me about New Year, there is nothing that you need to change. You are perfectly fine the way that you are. And if you do want to start on a big fitness journey and stuff like that, right now is not the best time to be doing that. It's cold, it's dark, it's miserable, it's icy, and you've got a house full of yummy food left over from Christmas still, right? Not the best time to be putting yourself to the test in terms of diets and exercise, but a lot of you like to do it at this time of year. And as far as I'm concerned, it is always a good thing when we group up as a community and do things together. It makes it a lot easier for all of us. We've got that accountability there, we've got that shared energy going on. And so if you want to be doing some goals for the new year, now is a pretty good time in that respect. And of course, your goals don't have to be fitness and health related. There are lots of different things that we can look at goals-wise this year. So when I am goal setting, not necessarily at this time of year, this is how I do it. So when I'm goal setting for myself, doesn't necessarily have to be at this time of year, because I review my year a few times throughout the year at the start of each season, and I work out what's going wrong, what's going right, what of my goals need moving, because they're not quite what I wanted in the first place. You know, sometimes we set out to do something and we realise when we've achieved it that that actually wasn't the thing that we wanted something similar. I'm okay with shifting goals to accommodate that. When I change, my goals change too. That's okay. When I am setting goals, I try and make sure that I set really realistic goals, things that I can achieve. So imagine that my plan was that I wanted to do a round the world road trip, right? That was my big goal, big goal. I'm first going to break that down into smaller steps. I can't do a round the world road trip if I don't know how to drive, right? So step one would be learning how to drive, and step one might be apply for my provisional driving license. So any big goal that you've got, like big massive round the world trip, or completely change my career, or completely change my body, take that and break it down into the smallest possible steps that you can. Tackle that first, because that is how you're going to get there with this goal. You are not going to get there by sitting there thinking, well, I want to do a round the world trip, so the first thing I'm going to do is go on Instagram and look at all the places that I want to go, and maybe build a Pinterest board of all the places that I want to go. That's not going to get you any closer to your goal. And then next year, when you're looking at your New Year's resolutions for this year and you're going, I was supposed to do a round the world trip and I'm absolutely no closer than I was this time last year, you're going to feel bad about yourself, and then you're ending your year on a sour note, and that's no good for anybody, is it? So set your goals that are realistic, that you can achieve within a certain time frame. And it's no good just saying, I want to be richer next year. Yeah, me too. Everybody does, right? That's grand. What you want to do is break that down into something that you can measure, that you can tick off your list. I want to be earning £200 more per month in 6 months' time. Right, so you've set a date on it, when you want to have achieved it by. You've made it realistic. You're not saying you want to make £1 million extra pounds a month. It's doable. And because you've got that time frame and that number on it, you'll know when you've hit it, you can tick it off. If your goal is just make more money, then a penny more than you made last year is more money, and you've done it, but you're not going to think you've done it. And at what point do you decide that you've done it and you tick it off? Similar, when I decided that I wanted to start learning languages, I didn't decide I'm going to be able to speak fluent Russian by this time next year. I decided that I was going to give at least 5 minutes every day to my Duolingo practice, with the aim of finishing that Duolingo course. And so those are both things that I can measure. I can measure whether I've been doing my 5 minutes a day. When I get to the end of the course, I'll be able to give myself a big tick, I've got to the end of that course, and then I'll be able to look at the next steps in fluency if that's what I still want to do. These are things that I can measure. These are things that I can write down on a list and tick off within a certain time frame. And when you're ticking those things off, even if you're not doing it on a physical, if you're just doing it on a mental checklist, once you've ticked those things off, that is going to give you a massive boost of confidence, which is going to give you the willpower to keep going on all of your goals. Don't overwhelm yourself though. Don't think to yourself, well, by this time next year, I want to drop 3 dress sizes. I want to be earning triple what I earn now. I want a brand new relationship with the perfect person for me. I want to eat lettuce every day. It's just too much. It's just too much. Pick one. Pick one, maybe pick 2, right? And break those down into tiny, tiny little things so that you don't overwhelm yourself. I want to improve my general health. Right, there's a lot of different ways that I can do that, and so one of them was to take a vitamin each day. I've been consistently doing that for a few months now, and so soon I'll throw in something else that I will have to do. It's just a small thing, but will add up to better overall general health in the long run. The only way that you are going to achieve your goals is if you don't overwhelm yourself, you break them down into manageable bite-sized bits that you feel like you can do. Because otherwise, the first time that you skip out on a training session, or you don't read that day, or whatever your goal is, the first time that you fail it, it's going to feel too overwhelming to carry on. You failed it, now it's done. And so if you make it into small little things, then it's much easier to pick it back up if you do occasionally drop it as well. So yeah, break it down. Don't overwhelm yourself. Give yourself timings for the different steps that you want to do. Make sure that those are realistic and doable so that you can tick them off as you go. It should be nice, measurable, easy to achieve goals. As you start to achieve lots and lots and lots, then you can make them harder to achieve once you've built your confidence there, once you've developed that habit. And like I say, don't pick too many things at once. You don't have to change everything all at once to make big, big changes in your life. Just changing one thing is enough to make big, big changes in your life. And you also don't have to wait until New Year to start a new goal. So if after 3 months of doing your goal and smashing it and feeling really confident, you can develop a new goal. And that is okay. You do not have to wait until New Year. You don't have to do it all now. There's no timer on this. Most importantly though, you're absolutely awesome just the way you are. You are absolutely perfectly fine. There is nothing wrong with you. There is a billion-dollar industry all centered on making you feel like you are not good enough, you do not do enough, you're not healthy enough, you're not fit enough, you're not pretty enough. And it's all just bollocks that's there to sell you stuff. You are absolutely fine just the way you are. And if you don't have any New Year's resolutions, you don't have any New Year's goals, bloody good for you. I am really, really proud of you. Join me again next Monday. I don't know what I'm going to be talking about yet. I haven't thought that far ahead yet. But I will be here talking about something. And if you can't wait until then to see me again, I do understand. I will be here every single morning in your shorts, taking a great big deep breath, letting you know what I'm grateful for. That daily gratitude practice was a goal that I set in the middle of the year. Have done it daily since then. It has made a massive, massive difference in my life. I'd love you to join in with it. I'm also here every Wednesday doing a Witchy Wednesday intuitive card reading. If it resonates with you, take it. If it doesn't, then it's not for you, and that's fine. And so I will be here throughout the week, but I will be back on Monday for a longer time as well. Until then, you have yourself a magical week.